Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Bidman and today you are tuned in for not a wearable look, but something a little bit more offbeat and creative and fun in honor of tomorrow, which is Earth Day. So if you want to find out how to get this look and just some tips and tricks for creating a character through makeup, then stay tuned. I've already washed my face and prepped my skin with skincare, so now it's time to prep our face for makeup. So color correcting and doing any priming that we're going to do. Even though we're not doing a wearable look, we still want to make sure that the skin is prepped and primed and ready to go, because we want to make sure that all that discoloration is gone. The only time you want that discoloration peeking through is if you're doing something for a character, like character specific. Otherwise, you always want to make sure that you are color correcting, because it will peek through, especially on film and camera. And depending on who's editing, they might not have time or want to deal with that, and then your name is going to show up on the credits as the person who did the makeup and you will be blamed. So make sure that you do spend a little bit of time correcting anything. And the camera loves to read red. So if you have a client that has any redness in their skin or high color, make sure that you really go after that, because the camera will pick that up faster than anything else. And a foundation, a yellow base foundation, is not enough. Trust me. Okay. I do want the eyes to stand out because we are going to be using carbon. So we definitely want to make sure that we're tight lining and getting kind of sooty, setting up that sootiness. So my inspiration for this look is basically just like Mother Earth is coming out of the soil and the earth essentially, and she's definitely on more of the like brown sooty side rather than the green side, because at first that was the way that I wanted to go, but then as I thought about it more and more, I thought, no, it's earth. And what is earth? When it comes down to it, it is soil, it is dirt, it is brown, dark brown, even black sometimes. So that's kind of the direction that we're going. I also know that my hair isn't really playing a huge focus in this look, or at least in the end picture. So that's why I've got my little top knot. And I know that I'm going to use this sweater as kind of a prop. I'm also going to be painting kind of like some twigs or like veins or something on my hands to do some kind of like something like this for the end shot. So we're really just focusing mostly on the main face, and then the end picture will result kind of right around here. Okay, so we just want to keep that in mind as we're doing our makeup, that some things matter and some things don't. Okay, but we do want really clean skin. So we're going to go in with our concealer. We've already done our corrector, which of course was Bobbi Brown. Now we are going in with our concealer, which is GIORGIO ARMANI Luminous Silk in 4.5 as usual. Using my concealer brush and just kind of quickly getting in there, because I know I want to spend most of my time on the eyes. I don't want to spend too much time on the skin, nor do I really need to for this look. Going in with the foundation, also GIORGIO Armani Luminous Silk, doing dotting motions and then bouncing the brush and blending it out. Again, some of my skin is going to be covered up from whatever hand gesture I decide to do. So what I really want to focus on is this area. This area right here is going to be prominent, and everything else is kind of taking a back seat. if you are a working makeup artist and you're doing something kind of artistic like this, see if you can talk to the photographer and just see like what is their vision for the end product, because you don't want to spend all this time on this amazing skin and then, you know, you do end up doing something really, really close shot and you lose a lot of the work that you do, but maybe you didn't spend enough time on the thing that's actually being focused. So make sure that you understand the brief, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And if it's you who's doing this, make sure that you know what the end picture is going to be before you start. Otherwise, again, you could spend a lot of time on things that don't really matter in your vision. So I'm going to jump to the brows. Here are the eyeshadow colors that we're using. I just geeked out and tried to pick colors, except for my brow colors. I tried to pick colors that actually had like Mother Earth vibes. So we have Carbon, Charcoal Brown, this is Wedge, and Shroom. So those will be the colors that we're working on with the eyes. Otherwise, we're going in with our typical brow colors, Sandstone and Brun. I could actually use Sandstone if I wanted to. I might. And I do think I will go a little bit darker on the brows, just so that they can stand up to the eye look. But before I go really crazy, I want to make sure that my eye look makes sense. I don't want the brows to take over. I've been watching quite a bit of Next in Fashion, and it just really has been inspiring me makeup wise, because when they do their fashion shows, the makeup is just, it's amazing. Whoever is doing the makeup for that show, Raise, you are doing a fantastic job. So excited for you. Okay, let's start working on the eyes. The lips that I'm going to be doing are Spirited Away and Petal from Lisa Eldridge. So actually we'll pop that on really quick. Spirited Away is pretty close to my natural lip color, which is what I wanted. And Petal, again, was just kind of another nod to the idea of Mother Nature. And it's just like a really sweet pink, but it's not like a bubblegum pink. So again, I think it makes sense with this look. It's not too over the top. And I'm going to add in highlighter later, just in case I decide I do want to bring that out. I have two versions of this look in my head. One is really strong, one is a little bit softer and sootier. So I'm just going to see kind of where it goes. Sometimes you decide, or you have an idea in your head, and then as you start to do the makeup, the face says, no, this is what you need to do. So we're just going to let the face, even though it's my face, we're going to let the face kind of dictate where we're going. And you know, it's the end of the day, so my face is sitting a little bit differently than it does in the morning. So we're just kind of building that base, taking it up a little bit higher and going a little bit more on a diagonal right here. So doing the same thing with Charcoal Brown and Wedge, just kind of defining that bone structure, going on that higher diagonal, almost like an 80s diagonal, with my 201 brush from BK Beauty. Such a good first brush for really almost any look. Taking a step back, making sure both sides look pretty equal, and it looks like that to me. I'm going to amp that up with my NATASHA crease brush. Same thing, mixing the two colors, and I just want to build that up a smidge. I have pretty rounded features right there. So sometimes when I go too angular, it doesn't quite make sense with my bone structure. Although with makeup you can really kind of fake it if you want to. And then I'm just kind of using the side of my brush to soften that out a little bit. Nothing needs to be really perfect at this particular motion. And then I'm just kind of dragging out that shadow just a smidge, again on the side of my brush, just kind of softening it. You can always go in, because your skincare hasn't completely set in, especially if you're doing your makeup just like right away. So you have a little bit of wiggle room. We haven't powdered yet. We're not going to powder until the end. We want to make sure that we're nice and city looking. And just kind of softening this inner corner. It's getting a little defined. Okay. I'm going to take my finger and just kind of tap of the skin and drag it. Great. Making sure that I do have a little bit of gap between my eyebrow and that shadow. Whenever I think about doing something like this, it always takes me back to like gods and goddesses and mythology and legends and all of those things. And I always want a little bit of that element kind of peeking through. I don't want it to be a complete glam look, and yet I also don't want it to be so mythological that it becomes like character-y. You know what I mean? Like over the top in like the wrong way. Now I'm going to take my pencil brush and dip into Carbon and just really gently, because Carbon is fierce, start kind of smoking out that lash line a little bit. I don't think I want any harsh edges, even though Mother Nature definitely has harsh edges. So that's kind of the question I've been asking myself when I saw that Earth Day was tomorrow. I started immediately asking myself, Mother Earth, who is that? Like, who would that be? Did I want to modernize her and do like a really wearable look? Or did I want to do something like this? Or did I want to like really go for it? And so I decided somewhere in between. Something that you could change to be wearable if you really wanted to, but something also that just kind of stretches us a little bit. So I'm kind of just treating Carbon as a liner, and I'm just doing some dots, and then I'm taking my 201 and blending that into the brown that we've already done. I just want a really city, soily kind of a look. And we're just going to keep doing that over and over and over again until we get the desired depth. Always want the darkest part at the lash line, otherwise your eyes are going to get lost, or your client's eyes, or your model's eyes, or whatever's going on when you're doing something like this. You always want to make sure that that is the darkest part towards the lash line. It also just gives the camera something to hold on to, because cameras love contrast. And if you take away all that contrast, it just looks really muddy, even if it doesn't look as muddy in person. So again, just doing kind of little dashes along the lash line, and then we'll blend that out, and then we'll make the lash line a little bit thicker and just kind of start building that. And then we'll take a step back and see if we need to make it darker. This eye is definitely a little bit darker, and I really like how that is looking. So I'm going to have to go back and balance out the other eye. When you go this dark, with your eyeshadow. Sometimes this eye is looking smaller, so that can kind of close down the eye a little bit. But again, if you're doing something artistic, it's okay. I'm gonna go over, I'm just gonna knock off any extra that I have on my 217, and I'm gonna go back in with my charcoal brown and my Wedge on my 217, and I'm just gonna bring that down onto the lid, mostly on the side of my brush. Now I'm gonna go back in with my pencil brush on my, or with carbon, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of carbon under the eyes. And then we're gonna go in with BK Beauty 207 and just really, really gently kind of smoke that out. And we're definitely gonna add some brown. Okay, equaling those two out. Of course, the fun thing, I'm gonna use a new 217 because my other one got really producty. Okay, just kind of tapping on that lower part of that line. So I'm not going on top, I'm just touching the lower part of the carbon line. And we're gonna go back in again and try to smoke that out even more. Really kind of getting into that whole lower lid that I have. So if you squint your eyes and you've got like a little bit of a poof that kind of pops out, then you also have a lower lid. Okay, I do have quite a bit of fallout from carbon, so we will clean that up. This is looking a little too round for me, so we are going to go back in with the pencil brush, start bringing that out just a little bit, because we're not sad. For Mother Earth, for goodness sake. We're pretty excited to be Mother Earth. Taking those two browns again and just adding a little bit more. Thinking about the idea of that mask for some kind of goddess or like a warrior or something like that. I'm going to do mascara before I go in with any powder, and I'm really going to coat on Smoky Lash. So right now I only have concealer and foundation, and it does feel a little stark, a little intense. So even if you do a really dark smoky eye, it's really important that you add some life back into your skin. Otherwise you will look a little dead. And we do not want to look dead. Not for this look anyways. Okay, so I'm going to take just a little bit of concealer. Just kind of re-brighten up that area. Going back in with my concealer brush. I don't want to undo anything that I've done. This is basically just going to highlight all the work that we did. I'm going to bring a little bit down my nose, just to add in that little bit of extra warrior feeling of almost like a mask, but not really a mask. We're going to powder, and we're going to use the 108 from BK Beauty with my pale yellow powder from Bobbi Brown. Definitely want to take away any of that shine through the center of the face and really underneath the eye. Okay, we are mattified where we need to be mattified. And now it's time to add a little bit of life back into the face. So we definitely need some bronzer. So we're going to go in with our NATASHA DENONA bronzer and our bronzing brush. And I definitely think that Mother Earth would be quite bronzed from having all that sun hit her throughout the day. And also, you know, just from being dirt. So I'm doing what I would normally do, but I am going to go a little bit heavier because I want her to feel more sun-kissed. Also just putting it on my actual cheekbone as well, just bringing a little bit more color to the face. And we will add in a little bit of Sweet Enough, but I think I'm going to stick with my bronzer brush because I don't want this to be too much. But I'm also going to bring it in that C shape, kind of where I would normally put my highlighter. Again, just to give that like, that sun, like I've been out in the sun. And also kind of bring it down my neck too. Can't forget the décolleté if that is going to be in the picture. Actually, I should add a little bit of bronzer down there too. Everything's feeling much more balanced. So this is where I'm going to stop the tutorial because now I'm going to draw in some like twigs or lines and things, and that could take a little bit longer. So stay tuned for the finished look. I have drawn the lines on my hands, so now I'm ready to take my picture, which means that the tutorial is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of offbeat one. It was really fun to kind of tap into a different type of creativity for this one. Enjoy Earth Day and enjoy the month of April, and I will see you very soon in the next video, which will be definitely more wearable. So thank you again for watching. Hit the thumbs up and the subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!